Well, hey there. How's everybody doing? A special Yeah, We Know podcast. We've done over 160 episodes of this wrestling show we have here. And, well, Rod has been along a ride for most of them. Chris also has been along the ride for a lot of them. Cleveland Crippler's here as well, our number one fan. Really appreciate you coming on, Mr. Crippler. But Rod has been chomping at the bit since about 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time yesterday to chat about this. We have not talked very much. That's what we like to do here on the Yeah We Know podcast. No talk, save it for the pod. Rod, go right ahead.
Jimmy, I was sitting around watching the Peacock streaming application yesterday, right? The lower of all of the streaming applications, right?
Sure.
We're not talking about Netflix here. We're not talking about Hulu. We're not talking about Disney Plus. All right, we're talking about Peacock. All right. So I'm watching that at around 8:15 yesterday, and I am just flush with the feeling of two things, Jimmy. One, pride. I was pride and proud of the WWE and their ability to tell a story and get someone like me, who is a complete mark, who has seen all of the gimmicks, who has seen all of the people, who has seen all of the turns, all of the non-finishes, all of the cheats, all of the bad decisions. I've been here for all of it. And I've seen all the things that I thought, is that real? And then it turned out it wasn't real. And yet still, Jimmy, still yesterday in Las Vegas, when the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, walked out and said a curse word without his music playing, I said to myself for 1 second, is this real? Is this real? What's happening? And so I have to give the shout out to the WWE for once again getting me to ride on that roller coaster of emotion and giving me a clear hero and a clear villain, and then taking it all and shaking it up and spitting it back out and telling me that we have something that's official that's not official. Only the WWE can do that, Jimmy. So
Precisely.
I'm excited. Let's see if you can help me figure out what's happening.
Well, I was very excited when I saw The Rock on the Pat McAfee show go complete and full heel. I was ecstatic because you knew something good was going to happen. I love the heel turn for The Rock, the Cody crybaby, the go play catch with your kids. No, I want Cody to get this, finish the story. Oh, it was fantastic. I love that, and you knew something good was going to happen. Chris King, I know you do not care at all about Roman Reigns, the World Championship, any tag team wrestling. Not even sure why you watch it, but that's okay. What were your thoughts on the the press conference? Which, by the way, had thousands of people at it. Unbelievable. The WWE to be like, oh, yeah, come on over. We're here.
On Super Bowl week.
Right? Yeah. Right? Yeah, like kudos to the WWE, all right? And I did not expect them to go full Rock heel turn, but I think it's fantastic. I really do. It makes me more interested in the title that Roman Reigns has. And it also gives me 2/3 of the triple threat match I told you that was going to happen already in the ring.
Yeah, well, that's not going to happen now. That's good. Hey, for those of you listening, throw a comment in the chat here. If you're how did it do for you? Did you enjoy the press conference? Are you excited about Cody and Roman, Mr. Crippler? How pumped are you?
I liked it. I think there's one more swerve coming. I would not put it past them to give us one of those ultimate, we never saw it coming kind of things, like where Cody said he wants to take everything. What better way to take everything from Roman than to enlist The Rock's help in some background swerve at the end? Cody takes everything. I think there's one more swerve coming.
One more swerve coming. I think one thing we need to talk about here is the fourth person that was involved in that matchup in the press conference. Seth Rollins really was talked down to a lot by Roman Reigns. Oh, go by number two. Go by number two. You're nothing. Go by number two. To me, this sets up a tag team match. Now, is this at Elimination Chamber? Or is this at night one of WrestleMania main event? I I don't see that anymore with the Elimination Chamber matchups announced. But somehow, some way, Seth Rollins needs to pin The Rock, I think, Rod.
No, I don't know. I don't know if I would go far down the road of saying that we can't have a tag team match at Perth, Australia yet. All right. I understand that it's an awful big ask to have The Rock, who hasn't wrestled in the WWE for a long time, to show all the way up in Australia and wrestle, and Roman Reigns, who only wrestled 12 times last year, to show up in Australia and wrestle ahead of the WrestleMania.
Oh, I don't think he's not scheduled for that. I don't
No,
think
he's
he's
not.
scheduled for that. That's right. I forgot about that. Well,
Yeah, he's definitely not. He's definitely not. But I'm telling you, Jimmy, somewhere in my bones, I feel that tag team match happening in Perth, Australia, right? I feel that we don't have anything else really cooking. So let's have one Elimination Chamber match, another Elimination Chamber match, and in between the Elimination Chamber matches, or after them with one match in between, is a Roman Reigns, Rock, Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes tag team match, because you can cook so many different things up and shoot off of that. And going into WrestleMania, you absolutely can. Rock can turn on Roman, Roman can turn on Rock, Cody, Seth. I mean, there's just so many different directions you can come off of that, and you sell a huge pay-per-view that you quite often, Jimmy, talk about how when we go across the international date line and visit different time zones, that the pay-per-views can feel a little bit mid. So what better than bringing out The Rock, Roman, to fight in the Elimination Chamber?
Excuse me, sir. You missed one very important matchup at the Elimination Chamber.
Wait.
You watch your mouth. Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate, going for the tag team championships at Elimination Chamber. Chris King, go ahead.
Okay, so I have a question and maybe two comments. I'm not sure. One, I don't think Rollins will even be able to wrestle by the time Perth, Australia comes around. All right, he
It's
got
Seth
hurt.
Rollins.
He's
You're right.
probably not going to show up to do anything as far as taking bumps until WrestleMania time. So I don't think we're going to see him do anything in Perth, Australia. And secondly, I got to give it to one, Jimmy, and sort of because of Rod too, I am a fan of Dune and Bate. I'm a big fan of Dune and Bate, all right? I see Pretty Deadly's real value now, Rod. And you've helped me be a fan too, Jimmy. Dune and Bate. Why didn't you tell me that's who they were to begin with?
Okay. Thank you for that. Crippler. We haven't gotten your thoughts on this. Cody Rhodes coming out saying that he is picking Roman Reigns. They actually are going to give the fans what they want, because that's going to be the last match of the last night of WrestleMania. That's set in stone. That is going to be it. How does that make you feel?
Can't believe you just came on here and said set in stone.
Damn right I did.
I think that's what the fans wanted. I think that's what's going to help sell this as the biggest of all time. I think it's the proper way to end the story and just get everything done with. But like I said earlier, I think there's a swerve coming. I can't.
Okay, so you said it. So now listen, we've by the way, the over under on your NXT references was 9 minutes, so you win. So that good job with that. Really appreciate that. You said a swerve's coming. What is this swerve? What's going to happen?
Could we see a handicap match?
A handicap match?
A glorified triple threat match?
Oh, yeah, like a Bloodline versus Cody match.
I think
if we're going to make The Rock heel, he's teaming up with Roman in some way, shape, or form, right? Like, why else would he be going heel if he's
okay, Chris, let me ask you this. So I love where you're going there, Chris. If they do that and they give you Roman Reigns as a babyface at the end, do you care? Because you've been somebody who's come on here all the time and said, I don't care about Roman Reigns' bloodline. I don't care about his belt. I don't care about Roman. He's making me not want to watch, blah, 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 whine, cry. You've done all of that for a long time. If Roman Reigns becomes babyface and goes against heel Rock, do you care?
I mean, to me, it's whether or not he has the belt on, I guess, is what it is. I mean, for me to care more about that type of matchup, he needs to not have the belt on, because I don't believe in The Rock being around long term enough to hold the belt for any reason at all.
Right.
Okay, so the reason why The Rock is going heel right now, the reason is because Roman Reigns is going to be a hugely over babyface when it's all said and done with the win. They want Rock and Reigns to go against each other one-on-one for the head of the table, and Reigns winning and the people wanting that to happen. This is going to be a little bit of a longer term, maybe a SummerSlam, something like that, where they have The Rock. Yeah, of course. They have The Rock as a hated heel. Some way, shape, or form, Rock is screwing Roman Reigns over some way. It's not going to be, though, Chris, it's not going to be Cody's for the title. I think Cody's going to win that clean, but there's going to be something in there that people are going to hate The Rock and wanting Roman Reigns to win, Rod.
Jimmy, here's the question. Okay, here's the question. Has this been the plan the whole time, or did we swerve and pivot to a bit of a new plan when we saw the reaction? Because you could convince me that there's a world that exists where the WWE thought they could just truck Roman out here and then have him go against The Rock and people would be okay. But then when they saw the absolute backlash that came to it, did they pivot to that? Or should we absolutely give them chef's kiss even more because this is the way they wanted it to go the whole entire time, and they played everyone there by bringing out Seth to call out Cody, by immediately posting the video of The Rock getting the most downs in the history of the WWE, right? Which one do you really think it is here, Jimmy? This is what our listeners want to know, because they know we all come to you for your wrestling knowledge. You're like our principal. We come to you to make us all feel better. When you tell us what's happening, we feel better about it. So, Jimmy, did they pivot, or was this the plan the whole time?
I think this was the plan once they decided Cody Rhodes was winning the Royal Rumble. I think this was the plan for that. Before that, leading up to it, maybe even the beginning of January, I think they were going to probably go with Roman and Rock. But things do change. I have to believe that Cody won the Royal Rumble because of this. This was the plan going forward. He didn't win the Royal Rumble, and they said, he's just going to go against Seth Rollins. Because remember, Punk and Rollins had that feud going, and Punk was probably going to win the Elimination Chamber to then go against Rollins at WrestleMania. That was a logical storyline, and Triple H does a lot of that. So they had to pivot on the Punk part, but they didn't have to pivot on the winner of the Royal Rumble, which is Cody Rhodes. So that's what I think. Griffler, thoughts on that? Because
wait a minute, Jimmy. Hold on. Jimmy,
ahead.
do you believe right now, do you believe on WrestleMania, either night 1 or night 2, it doesn't matter, we will see Roman versus Cody one-on-one? Do you believe that? Do you honestly believe right now that we are getting that, because they've told us a couple of times now that that's officially what we're having? Do you believe that?
Yes, I do. I think we're going to get Cody and Roman one-on-one night 2 of WrestleMania. That's going to happen. I think so.
Agree.
Crippler.
I agree. I think we're going to finally get the one-on-one Cody versus Roman clean. No interference. No nothing from any bloodline member. I think it's actually going to be clean and give people what they want, a non-interference match.
Chris, is that what you want, or do you want to see Solo Sikoa come out again and hit Cody Rhodes and have Roman Reigns get the win again? Which, by the way, would burn down Las Vegas. Just throwing that out there right now. I don't think even Vegas can survive that.
Well, Jimmy, we all know I'm a newbie to this again. All right, we know I don't know much. I tell you one thing that has been the most consistent thing since I've started watching this WWE product again, and that is the bloodline interfering with matches. All right. So if there is a one-on-one between Roman and anybody, or a bloodline member or anybody, there will be interference or shenanigans or some sort of schmaz, as Rod likes to call it, in some way, shape, or form.
But that's going to be part of the story, though, right, Jimmy? Like, that's if they're going to tell some sort of story that interwoves all three of these guys, there's going to be something where Cody's going to say to Roman, hey, you only beat me because Solo came to the ring last time. So give me one-on-one, no interference. Come on, you and me. They have the match. No interference happens. Roman immediately gets mad at The Rock for not interfering, or you know what I mean? Like, this interference has to play into this somehow, right? Like, it has to play in somehow.
Yeah, and my fear is that The Rock tries to interfere on behalf of Roman, but it backfires, and then Cody beats Roman because of the interference. Um, I like the clean finish better. I really like the clean, just be done with it, 3 years. But also, it goes along with the story how Roman can only win with interference. This one time, the interference backfired him, so I could see that happening as well.
You wait until the rematch because you know there will be one for the clean finish, and then there's no doubt in anybody's mind that Roman doesn't deserve the belt.
So let's go to a little bit further in the storyline. Triple H was throwing so much shade right now with The Rock. I have a feeling Triple H is not going to have a good night next week. I don't think it'll be good. It might be a backstage segment because I really don't think he can do too much in the ring. I don't think he can get hit too much because he's got a little heart situation. But there could easily be something in the back where there's tables and chairs and stuff thrown all over him, and his dressing room or his office is destroyed. I think there's going to be a lot of back and forth between The Rock and Triple H as well here, which should not take away from Cody and Roman. But we have 2 months, so I think we have enough time for that, Rod.
I think what we're about to see from our guy Dwayne Johnson here is possibly some of the best acting that he's actually ever done in his career.
Could be.
Apologies to Chris's favorite movie of all time, Jumanji 2. Rumble back
Next
to
level.
Jumanji. I'm not even sure what it's called. Right?
Jumanji to the next
Which
level. You
mountain?
show respect, please.
Yeah.
Wow.
Shout out to The Rock's wonderful performance in The Jungle Cruise and The Tooth Fairy and a movie called Snitch. Right, a movie called Snitch. Right, don't forget about that one where The Rock played a truck driver.
Don't forget about Fast Five, Rod's favorite movie.
Of course, no one can forget about the Fast and Furious movies, Chris. That's why you just made a fool of yourself, right?
That's why he didn't mention those
because listening to me, naming
off
Rock movies. We're already thinking of all the good Rock movies, and that was namely the first one that came to their mind, right? Because Fast Five is probably the best movie The Rock's ever made. Anyway, just be ready for The Rock to give his best performance ever, because Rock wearing the skin tight black tank top, like menacing Triple H walking out of a Las Vegas arena. Like, come on. That was more convincing than anything I've ever seen The Rock do. It was certainly more convincing than anything he did in that movie with Sean William Scott and Christopher Walken, where they had to go eliminate a gold mining town down in Southern America. The Rundown. There you go. Thank you, Chris. It was certainly more believable than anything in that. But Jimmy, listen, you said it best there. It has to be backstage, because what I thought to myself is I was bummed out Triple H can't go anymore, because wouldn't it be cool if we could do a deep where all this happens and we thought we were getting The Rock and we're not getting The Rock versus Roman because we're getting Cody versus Roman, what everybody wants, but then Triple H and Rock throw down one more time. How cool would that be?
That would be amazing.
Yep.
For many reasons, including that little, I believe, stint in Triple H's heart that isn't really working very well there. Crippler, if you had the next couple months here to really get heat on The Rock, what are some things you might do?
Just let Rock is one of the more creative geniuses on the mic. He can just rip on everybody and make it seem both comedic and like, holy crap. Yeah, as evident by some of his promos from back in the Attitude Era, where he killed Stone Cold, he killed Rikishi, he killed Kane and The Undertaker, all in one promo. Just keep letting them talk about Cody's crybabies. Let them talk about, you run your mouth so about my family. You talk about him and his family. That's my blood, my family too. Now, just let him go off on stuff like that.
Let's give his flowers here, Jimmy, because honestly, how many people could have handled that crowd the way he did on Thursday night? All right. Like, honestly, think about how many people could have stood there on a stage, not in the middle of a ring, right? Not about a match to happen. You know what I mean? Like, he's standing there in the middle of the ring with thousands of people booing him. Sure, he knew he was going to go out there and get boos, but I think you could see he was a little surprised at the amount of vitriol that was being thrown back at him. So what I was also washed with is how much of an absolute stone cold professional The Rock is, because he was even able to roll with their what chance. he was like, okay, fine, I'll go with you.
You did a great job with
boom,
that. Great
boom,
job with that.
Boom. You know what I mean? Like there's only a handful of people that could have done what he did Thursday night. And so like, again, I want to talk about being a fan that night. All right. We did the whole thing where we all try to be the guys who chop it up and say what should happen.
Sure.
I was angry as all hell that night, Jimmy. Okay. I literally was a little fan again saying, how dare you boo The Rock? That was exactly what I was doing that night. When he stood there and looked around for a second, was holding that microphone, I was right with him. And I was like, screw these people. You should go out right now and just start rock bottoming all of them. How dare they boo you after everything you have given to these people? And then this little upstart who has this amazing song in Pyro, whose dad was a fat plumber, you're going to boo The Rock because of him? This is ridiculous. I thought that for a second as a fan, Jimmy.
Crippler, how about you? What's your fandom there?
I agree with Rod. I was just, Rock does deserve his flowers for doing what he did. He's a true professional. I mean, he probably felt like, when they started the what chants, the Rocky sucks chants, like he was back trying to face Stone Cold or Triple H back in the Attitude Era when he was at his height. It was probably just like going home to him. So I was a fan as well. I was angry at some of the actions and more of a fan like, let's go, Cody, just punch him in the mouth.
Chris, when The Rock said, it doesn't matter what you think. Yes. Thoughts?
So
You don't care about The Rock? All right, we'll move on.
No, wait, because this is why I wanted to get back into the WWE. All right, because you know what I saw? I saw the future feud. The WWE taking real life scenarios and injecting them into the feud, and I see a future long term feud between The Rock and Triple H. People we don't have to see all the time, but will show up occasionally, and they can be pulling the strings for on Triple H side. You have the GMs of SmackDown and Raw. You have your corporate side. You have a wrestler side that's behind Rock. Right now, the heat is on Rock. You keep building that up until eventually a year or two down the road, you're going to flip that, and the corporates will be the bad guys once again. That's what I saw, that long-term type of thing.
Okay.
And that made me excited because Rock versus Triple H is something I am familiar with from when I last watched. All right.
Let me see if I have this
back
correct.
To that
though.
Attitude Era.
Let me see if I have this correct. So a member of the TKO board is down with the wrestlers and not part of the corporate side. Let me just make sure that I have this correct.
Listen, this is WWE in a nutshell. All right. We have seen it go all kinds of ways with this sort of dynamic. And it hasn't been that apparent of that type of, here are the bosses, here are the talent.
Yeah, but
until
McAfee
more
already called
recently.
it though, right? Like McAfee already invoked it at the end of the press conference on Thursday when he was like, Cody essentially got hit by his boss, right? Like McAfee already invoked it, didn't he, Jimmy?
He did, and then CM Punk went a little bit further too, and I really enjoyed CM Punk on commentary. That's what he does. I mean,
let's let him be a commentator full time. Jim, what do you think? Are you down for that? We can just have him be a commentator. He doesn't have to wrestle anymore. I'm fine with that. Can we get behind that here on our podcast?
I think you're going to see him on NXT doing just that for quite some time until he has the greatest comeback in the history of professional wrestling. We do got to get out of here in a little bit here, but Elimination Chamber, we do have a match. We had a couple matches tonight. We had Randy Orton advance. We also had the good guy, Drew McIntyre, because he is a face. Drew McIntyre advance in the Elimination Chamber. Chris King, this is Drew McIntyre's to lose, isn't it?
Good for business, Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want Drew McIntyre to win the Elimination Chamber, do you? We don't want to see Drew and Rollins again, right? Let's see.
We do.
I don't think so. I
you
love
want
Drew
Dom. Please
No.
tell me you want Dom to win the Elimination Chamber. I will end you.
I think you're going to see somebody like a Randy Orton or an LA Knight win. Is what I see happening.
See, Crippler, if when watching this tonight, you think LA Knight? I think LA Knight's going to lose his match because I think AJ Styles is going to interfere, right, Crippler?
Yeah, I would agree. I don't think LA Knight's going to get in, and I can't see Tom or Nick winning the match chamber either, because that's just not going to happen. It's either going to be Drew or Randy Orton walking out of there.
Is it Logan Paul?
I hate him.
Money. Hey, no matter what you think of him off WWE television, he's really good on WWE
Listen,
television.
I pay
Yes,
attention to his
yes.
matches.
Jimmy,
Yeah.
you just gave me
So-
an idea. What if Shane McMahon comes back for a little while, just kind of like rolling with Logan Paul for a while, right? And Logan Paul can just come down with this money song. What if we could do that for just a little while? Come on. Shane McMahon shit heel energy with Logan Paul.
You're not going to hear the name McMahon on WWE television for quite some
Not even
time.
Shane O'Mac?
Nope.
Not even Shane O'Mac. No, not at
Nope.
all.
Not even the man
We've
from
got
the
the-
mean streets of Greenwich?
My boy Kevin Owens is going against Dirty Dom, and I'm very, very disappointed because Kevin Owens is not winning that match, and that sucks. It really does.
You're right, he's not winning that match. But Chris, how excited were you for that promo? Because your guy R-Truth showing up again, calling Kevin Owens the Miz.
And in a smart way too, because he said Nick, and he's like, Nick who? Nick Aldis, the GM. He's gonna. What are you thinking? Who am I talking about?
I am 100% behind any time the WWE wants to give me more R-Truth. All right. Give me as much as you can. I am taking it by the spoonful at this point. It's gold every time he's on TV, right?
Agreed.
It is gold.
Bring
And
back
with that,
Rich G.
I've got to stop typing on my keyboard saying finish the story because I need to go hang out with my kid, Dwayne.
I thought you were going to go the other way. I thought you were going to go the other thing that he said people would do.
Yeah, I'm going to go hang out with Jackson. With that, you've been listening to the How We Know podcast, part of the More You Knows podcasting network. You're in the ring with Jimmy, Rod, the Crippler, and Chris.
Stop booing The Rock, all right? Just stop booing The Rock. We all understand that you love Cody Rhodes and his haircut and his belts, but stop booing The Rock. It's ridiculous.
With everybody saying, goodbye, net. Yeah.
Yep.